What's up, guys? So this video is going to be about why I choose to be single and also celibate, and just low-key gatekeep myself, because it's, for me, this is really the only way to live. Because I know other people might be like relationship people, so if that's you, I would not watch this video because it might not even apply to you. But this is for people who feel like they're just better off alone. They just feel like they just have a better, more peaceful life when they're alone, and I feel like that's definitely me. And there's a lot of reasons why I choose to gatekeep myself and not give people access to me, because I feel like it's mainly just because I feel like I'm a woman of God, and I feel like there's no one that truly deserves me. Like, not even to be like, oh, like, I'm so perfect, nobody deserves me, but like, I truly feel like I've never met someone that deserved me, and the people that I've given my time to in the past absolutely did not deserve an ounce of my attention and my love and anything like that, because I love so deeply that when I love people, I truly feel like my love is sort of healing. Like, I feel like I sort of just nurture people so hard, and I just think nobody deserves that, especially nowadays. I just find that this world is so lustful, and I find that I'm just like a woman of God in a world full of so many ungodly people, and the men are just so lustful and so disgusting. And every time I walk outside, I'm reminded why I choose to be single, why I choose to be celibate, because when I walk down the street, I see so many men in relationships, literally with their wife, their girlfriend, walking next to them, sitting next to them, whatever it is, and the dude is like looking at me lustfully, and it's so disgusting. Like, it makes me sick to my stomach. And I don't even mean to say this to be like I have no ego when I say this stuff. I'm just straight up telling like the truth of how I feel and everything like that, not to be like, oh, like, people look at me, blah blah blah. But like, no, like, seriously, every single time I walk outside, there's at least one man with his girlfriend or wife just lustfully looking at me, and it disgusts me so much. And also, if I ever go on like online dating apps or anything like that, not even just online, like in person too, I feel like, I don't know if it's just me, I feel like people see me and they just see me lustfully. Like, they don't even like humanize me. They don't see me as a person. They literally just see me as an object to lust over. And this is no matter what I'm wearing. Like, literally, look how I'm dressed right now. This is what I was wearing outside with a hoodie over it. Like, literally completely covered head to toe. It doesn't matter what I'm wearing. Like, people still look at me like I'm a freaking object to lust over, and it just like disgusts me. And this is a big reason why I like just truly feel like nobody deserves me, because the people that I have dated in the past, people that I have given my body to in the past, whatever the case may be, every single time I always regret it, because I don't know if that makes sense, but like, I've never regretted not sharing my body with somebody, let's say that. Like, it's always a good idea to not do that with somebody. And I truly believe that it's in the Bible to wait until marriage for a reason, because when I was younger and I wasn't really like a believer in like high school, and I sort of drifted from my faith, like, I would just do stuff with people who I was dating or whatever the case may be. Obviously, I've never been married, and I like that became like something that was abused in a way that I was treated badly, and so many things go along with that topic. I could talk about that for so long, but yeah, I just want to circle back to like, you'll never regret like not sharing your body with somebody. You'll never regret gatekeeping yourself. You'll never regret like just enjoying the alone time and the peace that you have. Like I'm literally always alone and I love it that way. And obviously like I still crave like to have like a relationship. I still crave like to be wanted by somebody. I feel like everybody has that desire, but I don't act on it. Like I really just like understand that I don't think I'm meant to be on this earth to be in a relationship. I don't think I'm meant to have kids. Like I just think my purpose is greater than that, and that's why I just don't like I'm so disgusted with like the men on this earth are so disgusting. Like I can walk down the street and just feel like so disgusted just by the way certain people look at me, and it's always men. It's never, I mean, women will look at me only when they're like with their men and they're like jealous, or they'll like try to like hide their man from like seeing me, and I'm like, oh girl, I don't want him, please. You can have him, he's all yours, girl. Because trust, like I don't want a man that like you have to like watch where his eyes are going. Like I don't want a man that you have to like try to hide so they don't look at other girls. Like that is so disgusting, and that's such a big reason why I'm single. Like I think men can like be with somebody and just be so ungrateful and just still be looking for more. And I think they don't deserve their girl in the first place, but there's a lot of girls that just kind of settle and they just kind of like accept that that's what they deserve, which is not true at all. Like you deserve so much better. You deserve a man who is godly, who is not looking at other women, who sees you as the only option. Like not even the number one option, like you are the only option for them, you know? And so every time like I'd be like sad sometimes that I like I'm not talking to anyone, I have no roster, like I'm not dating, anything like that. Sometimes I get sad about it and I just feel like alone. And then it just takes one walk outside to realize, oh, this is why I'm single. This is why I don't share my body with anybody. Nobody deserves me, like seriously. And I mean that with all my heart. And in my last relationship, like I was like, if we ever break up, like I'm going into my villain era, and like I'm not giving any man a second of my energy, and I'm not in that relationship anymore, so I'm really in my villain era. Like I don't want to give anybody my attention, my energy. And I think this is just, it's so much more peaceful, dude. Like I wish more women would like decenter men, but I think people are just so lost in other people that they just like don't even have like an identity for themselves, and they don't do anything for themselves. It's all about the other person. And also with that, like I don't want to get married. Like I feel like every girl has always like been wanting to get married since they were young, because you know they told us like your wedding day is gonna be the best day of your life and yada yada, all this stuff. But like for me, I genuinely see marriage as like just, dude, it's just too much work. Like aside from like the relationship aspect, like I feel like you sort of become like a maid, a cook, like all that stuff, and a mother. And I feel like for me at least, I've been like, I'm just so mature for my age that like I totally think if I was in a relationship, in a marriage, whatever the case may be, like I would just turn into like a mother figure for my husband or whoever. And I don't want that. Like I really don't want to be a man's freaking mother. I don't want to be a mother to kids and also to a grown man, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I hope this, like some people might relate to this, whether you're a guy or a girl. I mean, I know there's definitely other people out there that just like feel like, dude, relationships are just not not the thing. And like maybe it is for you in the future, but just right now, like, you know, maybe one day I'll be in a relationship and I'll feel differently on this topic, but for right now in this moment, it's like, no, I'm so done. And I truly am just so much happier alone because I can sort of like build my life and do what I want. And another thing with that is that I'm like such a weirdo, like genuinely. Like people like they see me and like just on the surface and what I look like and stuff, and they're like, oh, like baddie, you know, whatever. But then like when they get to know me, I actually have like, I'm like such a weirdo. Like my brain is huge. I'm very spiritually connected. I'm very like just quirky and weird, honestly. And like guys don't like that. They don't like a girl with personality. They might say they do, but they literally just want a girl that's just dumb and looks good and has no opinions on anything ever. And I'm someone who's very opinionated. I always have something to say. Like I always have something to say about stuff. And I'm not gonna dumb myself down or be less opinionated or whatever it is. And I just have high standards for myself. So I know that a lot of men just don't like that. Like I won't give people the time of day after they try me and they try to like cross my boundaries, you know. I think like I was raised to not even know what boundaries were in my house, but now that I live on my own and I really don't speak to my family, that I have boundaries now, and they're like self-made boundaries. Like I created them for myself. And trust me when I say like boundaries are the best thing you can ever do for yourself, because everybody needs boundaries in order to feel like themselves, in order to protect themselves. Like it's a way to show yourself that you love yourself. Because if you just sacrifice yourself and you just go for anything, no matter how bare minimum it is, especially in relationships, even friendships too, or family, like you're gonna be so miserable because you're just doing everything for everyone else and doing nothing for yourself. And like I said, that's how I was raised to be. I grew up with a mom who like literally was like, in one of her relationships was like the bill payer to like an absolute bum who like was so like trailer park energy. And I had to live with this man and I was so miserable. He was so disgusting. And I'm just like, I'm not gonna repeat that cycle. Like my mom had kids when she was 16 and she had 2 kids when she was 19. So it's like, girl, I don't want that life. I really don't. I want different for myself. And I know I'm 19 and I'm super young to even like know that like I don't want kids and I don't want to be married, but I just think that doesn't matter, dude. Like, you know, it doesn't matter. And when I was 16, like I thought I wanted kids, but I just don't. I just really don't. I just like to be single. I like my alone time. I like my peace. And like I think a big reason why I don't want to be in a relationship right now is the way these men are these days. Like they are so princess. They think that they're the women because like testosterone overall is like very low because of all the lust, all the other things. Like we're purposely getting, not we, but the men, they're purposely like getting their testosterone attacked, because then it makes all the men sort of like more feminine and stuff like that. And that's a reason why I just like can't date, because every man that I meet is not a man. They truly are like just a little boy. And I would say this is more so for people around my age. I think like men that are older are still men, some of them, but like my generation of guys, oh my gosh, they are the most princess people ever. Like I am more masculine than every single man that I've met that is around my age, let me just call them boys because they are not even men. They're literally like children. And like, look at all the pink around, and you're gonna tell me that I'm more masculine than little boys that are my age? Girl, bye. Like, oh my god. They're so lustful. They have no testosterone in their body. They have no idea how to lead or be a man in a relationship. Like, I just end up being the man in the relationship wearing the pants and also being the mother. So like, that's why I get so exhausted and so drained in relationships, because how are you gonna tell me that I'm the mom and the dad in this relationship? Like, you need to grow up. And especially since I'm 19 and I have a lot of like responsibility on myself, like I take care of everything for myself, and I don't have anyone that helps me. So when you are forced to do that at such a young age, like, you become like light years more responsible than people who like still live with their parents. Not to say that living with your parents is bad, because if you have the choice to do that, then absolutely do it. Like, if I had that choice, I would be doing that right now, but I don't, because my parents are just so miserable to live with, and they just treated me so awful that I had no choice but to not speak to them and just make a life for myself. And so that's also another reason why I don't get along with men around my age, because like, I have to take care of everything on myself and be my own mom and dad and stuff every day of my life, and they like live with their parents usually, and I'm just like, it's hard to be like, I don't know, to relate to them because they have such a different life. Like, when you have all of your needs taken care of by somebody else, it's such a different life. You really have a lot less worries. Like, you can just focus on work, on school, whatever it is. But yeah, I just hope that like people can realize that it's okay to gatekeep yourself and just like stay single, not share your body with anybody. Like, I'm happiest being single and just being alone, and I feel like it sounds stupid, it sounds lonely, it sounds dumb, but like, I would much rather be lonely by myself than be lonely in a relationship, which is where I find myself a lot. When I am in relationships, I just feel so lonely, and just like, the person doesn't understand me as much as I want to be understood. And so it's like, pick your struggle. Like, do you want to be lonely and then just like enjoy your alone time, or do you want to be in a relationship and still feel lonely? Like, that's even worse in my opinion, because you're like begging for someone to understand you, but they just don't, and it just makes you feel like even worse about yourself, you know what I mean? But yeah, I hope this helps someone that sort of relates to it, and I just want to like inspire people that like, you have God on your side. Like, I may be single and like alone, but I'm not alone because I have God, and he's always walking with me every single day of my life. Like, he's someone that will never leave me, even if everybody else in my life packs up and leaves, or just gets sick of me or whatever, and they just go one day, and there's nothing I could do about it. Like, you know, God is still with me every day, and there's not a day in my entire life that he's ever gonna leave me, even if I try to leave him, even if I stop believing, which is never gonna happen again. But that did happen to me when I was in, you know, most of like my teens. I like did not believe in God, and it was such a hard time in my life, and I don't know how I even kept going. I just knew there was something better waiting for me. But now that I'm back in my faith and believing again, like, I just understand that everybody can leave you. You can have absolutely nothing. You can be so broke. You can have no home. But if you have God, then you have everything that you need. And one day in heaven, like, all of your needs will be satisfied, and you won't hunger, you won't thirst, you won't have tears, you won't have pain, any of that stuff. And yeah, I hope I can just encourage people to do the same if they feel the same way, just like that they're better off being single, and I'm trying to not say being alone, because you're not alone, you're with God. He's always with you. But yeah, and also just like being celibate is, it's the best thing I ever did for myself, because dude, just like no one deserves you, like seriously. And I used to envy people in relationships, or envy people who have kids and stuff like that, and I think a part of me still does, because everyone wants to have someone and just like be in love. Like I feel like I'll always have that part of me that wants that, but I think you can replace that with like good friends or a pet or whatever the case may be. And you don't need a relationship. When you love yourself, like you're okay with being alone, and alone with God, let's say that. But yeah, I hope you guys liked this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.